about that great
Yes, a good
communication gap
Yeah.
between men and women.
Between men and women.
Yes.
It's already started.
I mean, and he's already defensive. Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand what's up with that.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
this can be a very civilized, understanding
It's
type
going
of
to be, but I
conversation.
have some strongly worded opinions.
I see his boxing gloves all
Yeah, I'm already on.
See?
I'm 10 toes
I've
down.
got a welcome mat. Like, I am really just trying to understand. So we already
Yeah.
see the gap in communication right here from the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And so we are going to be talking about that and just looking at just different angles and how our communication can impact us in different ways, but best of all, how to resolve that.
Yeah.
And so we have a special guest here that we'll be introducing after the break who has been here before, has some great insights, so we're really excited.
I'm excited to hear.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yes, it will be Dr. Pam with two gentlemen today, but I can hold my own. You know, we also got verses behind the scenes, so you know she's gonna.
So we're ready.
We're good. You
Yeah.
know. So
And we want everyone to call in. Brothers, I need you tonight.
Yes.
Please call in. Don't leave me out there. Y'all know who I'm talking to. Come on.
all right, he's already rallied.
Yeah,
his
I already
troops.
got my
gosh.
posse.
Oh Lord. Well, well, get ready. This is hopefully going to be a powerful learning experience for
Yeah.
all of us. So stay with us, get engaged in the conversation, and we'll be right back on the Live Exchange.
This is America.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have to.
Ta-da! Twinsies.
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bath water to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. That's safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We're more connected than ever before. 90% of America's students use some form of social media, but not all of it's used in a good way. Hurtful posts online are leading to social isolation for many. Psychologists say it's bullying in a brand new way. Well, Beyond Differences and I Keep Safe are looking to change that with ideas for students, their parents, and even teachers. Take the pledge to be kind online and learn more at wearekindonline.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
If you have the questions, we have the answers.
Right.
Go to ssnatl.com and click on the Contact tab. As much as you like. We're the nation's urban station. Online. ssnatl.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela.
And I'm Robert Pierce.
And today we are talking about addressing or filling the communication
filling in the
gap
gap
between men and women. And
Yes.
so hopefully we'll be able to accomplish some of that today. Today our guest is Marcus Joyner III, and he is here to just impart some insight and engage in this conversation. As he was here last year, and he was a part of a conversation about what men do to overcome after the ending of their own relationship. And so loved the conversation so much, thought, we need to have him back.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be
welcome,
fun.
Marcus.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, let's go.
We got already started.
Yeah, it's already.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, just tell us a little bit about who you are. I know that you're also working on, or you've been doing some work with travel, and you're really into cigars. And if you wouldn't mind, just give us a little.
Quick one. Been in Atlanta going on 2 years. Moved from the Bay Area, originally from the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biggie.
From grew up in VA and moved all around, but Atlanta's my home right now.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, welcome.
Welcome. Yes.
to Atlanta.
Thank you.
Yes, I think we're all kind of Atlanta imports. We've all been kind of
Yeah.
places. So, yes. So, one of the things that we really, I think, kind of triggered the conversation with Marcus and I early on, just like he sent me an inbox with. Not those kinds of inboxes, but not that kind of inbox. No, but he sent me an inbox with a very interesting video with Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. and a very intriguing conversation. It turned out to be a 2-hour conversation. The clip was only about 30 minutes,
right.
but it was a 2-hour, really compelling conversation.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I thought, so just even based on that alone, we had some really great conversation about that in terms of, it was just this particular clip presented a really different and interesting perspective that we don't always hear, often from a woman's
No, they don't make them like that anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Wait till y'all hear this, y'all.
And
It's
the
a
funny
setup.
thing is, most of the women that I know resonate with this feeling. Most of the women that I know. Now, I guess there are different types of women, and if those aren't the women you're interacting with, you might want to question.
Well, I will.
Wow. Shots fired.
I will point out that was like 1971.
Yeah,
it was. It was.
So,
but I don't know. I think the sentiment is still similar. So do we have that clip?
Do we have it? Can we play it? And let's just blast off. I want 10 toes down on this one. Y'all ready? Listen to this.
Yes. And it was circulating last year for quite some time. So many of you have probably heard it, but
Okay.
What I'd love is to bring in some conversations and dialogue around it. So
Yeah. When I heard it, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And when I immediately texted, like, they don't make them like this no more.
which I don't understand. I don't get the low blow. I really don't. But no, it's.
I think some guys were challenged. Did they ever make them? Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You don't think that was just
I'm saying most guys. I'm gonna say guys don't believe.
Yeah,
No,
that's the setup.
I would agree that they don't believe. I would agree that they don't believe, just like a lot of women don't believe men can be faithful. And
Okay.
So I think there's problematic.
So let's stop
let's
teasing
check
them.
it out.
Yeah.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. But Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course
All right,
you lie to me. And I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that kid down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man?
I'm going to ask of a black man. So, okay, go ahead. So what is it about they don't make women like that? It's so insulting, but go ahead. How is that?
Well, I'm going to start. I'm not scared. First, every woman I've ever met said, don't lie to me. Off the rip.
That's the first thing they say to you.
First thing. Now, I lied, but...
I have never said that to a man, but go ahead.
First thing.
And
I can go down my timeline and I just see women. The deal breaker is you lie.
Abuse. That's mine.
And now to hear, now I do get, in all seriousness, I do get her point about coming home and she gets the frowns and all that because we've been through a hard day. And I, in my own relationship with my wife, I have to catch that myself. I pour so much out to the world when I come home. Right. She catches the wrath of it. And so I get that. But I know she don't want me to lie to her at all.
So what? Let me interpret what I hear her saying when she's saying lie to me. Okay. It means that even if you're having a crappy day, walk in the house with a smile. Even if you're not feeling like smiling, walk in the house and be in a good mood, even if you're not. That's the kind of lie she's talking about. She's talking about put on the persona that it's gonna take to run this household and make this household work, like you do at work.
Okay, I have a problem with that. Because my home should be the one place I should be me. And there are going to be some days I just get beat down. And home should be a safe place where I can come, let my hair down, be me, and it's okay.
That's exactly, I think, what James Baldwin said in response.
Yeah.
So we got more, but that was a great introduction. I can't wait to hear what Marcus has to say. Stay with us.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day. I want to be a football stadium. I want to be a bike that races around the country. I want to be a bench on a forest trail. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Honey, what you cook for dinner tonight?
You want the good news or the bad news first?
The bad news first.
I cooked nothing.
Well, that's the good news then.
Uh-huh. Well, there's no bad news then because tonight we're going to have Jerk Palace.
Call Jerk Palace for authentic Caribbean cuisine, including vegetarian entrees with authentic Caribbean flavor. Call 770-892-5049. Located at 6221 Jonesboro Road, Highway 54 in Morrow, Georgia. Jerk Palace.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by GetSchooled and the Ad Council.
Primary election. Lack of diversity. Gas prices.
Michael Jackson. Trending topics.
All right, so trending this week, and just kind of, I guess, worth a mention. I actually, just as on the break, I just saw a headline flash that Buttigieg is out of the race. Buttigieg is out of the race. I'm not a fan. So that's all.
Yeah, that was going to bring some challenges. That was interesting. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
I'm not feeling him.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But yeah. I mean, I guess I could say that in a lot of ways about a lot of the candidates, but that one. Every time I saw him speak, I would cringe. Oh.
Yeah, let's talk.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but every time I saw him talk, he would just remind me of that little kid on the schoolyard that would say, you know, my family is rich and yours is poor. Like he was just a little annoying.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't like him. So, so I'm really glad he's out. But in other political news, I don't know if you guys saw this thing going around. It was a video of one of the candidates, Tom Strayer, and he was on the stage with Juvenile dancing to Back That Thing Up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Like, come on, y'all. Like, all of these little condescending, I call it condescending because in other situations you would not be the least bit interested in Juvenile or being on an HBCU. They were at... what campus was that? Yeah, I don't see it right off the bat, but they were at one of the college campuses, HBCUs, in South Carolina, and Columbia. It's called Allen University.
Okay.
And him and his wife were on stage alongside with Juvenile, dancing to back that thing up. So,
wow. You know, it's funny you say that because I saw it was today an article that Public Enemy is they contacted their lawyer about Bernie Sanders. They don't want him misrepresenting their music with his movement.
Interesting.
And so they filing a cease and desist.
Wow.
Yeah, because said he's misrepresent. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, they need to. If they really want to partner, they need to truly partner. This is
absolutely.
Just, I don't know.
Yeah, right now they feel they need them to get the black vote, the young black vote. But then if and when they get in, then it'll be the same rappers they'll condemn for their next song.
Right.
And so pick
or ignore.
Yeah, or ignore.
Completely.
Yeah. And so you can miss me with that.
Yeah. I don't know. And then there was another image that went around of Donald Trump with a bunch of black people praying over him.
Yeah. You know, this whole campaign, this whole presidential, it's a mess. I'm kind of over it. You know, I was disgusted even by watching the commercials about coronavirus. They're politicizing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen those.
Bloomberg has several commercials out.
Bloomberg has a commercial about everything.
I mean, as soon as it hit pandemic, he had a commercial out and blasting Donald Trump. And it's like, come on.
Yeah.
People dying. This is for real. This ain't about politics. This is people's lives.
I'm watching ESPN. He's got ads. I'm like, dang, he just hit up
and
everything.
so I'll be glad when this is over.
Oh, my gosh.
I get tired of them coming to the church. And let me stop because...
I understand.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I could see if you were engaged in general on an everyday basis, but that's not what we're seeing. So,
yeah.
How do I transition into relationships? Well, my thing is if you're fully engaged with the woman that you love. No, I can't transition.
Yeah, I was seeing where you was going with that.
I was waiting on it
doesn't work. It doesn't work. We're just going to do a hard pivot.
We just a hard stop. Yeah.
Yes. So what we were talking about before the break was that phenomenal conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. And if anybody has a chance to fully listen to it, what you'll see is this amazing kind of give and take, with conversation, respectfully listening and respectfully disagreeing, but not holding back, in the disagreement. I'd love to hear your...
I so understood everything he was saying. Like, I wanted to hear her answers.
Well, let's give his perspective. What was he saying to you? Because I don't think we heard that in the clip.
So when he was saying that he couldn't come home and lie, like, I can't do that to you. Like Robert said, I don't know any woman that wants you to come home and lie to him.
Yeah.
So that's kind of going against what most women want. To come home and fake it.
Right.
To act like I had a great day when I had a horrible day. Like, most women I know, let me know what happened, talk to me. So what she's saying is... Yeah.
Now, if I got to fake it at work and fake it at home, where do I be real?
Yeah. I mean, that's an excellent point. I mean, I agree with that.
Where do I download? Where do I take the armor off?
So and this is probably not totally fair because I've heard the whole thing, and but as she goes on to explain, her biggest concern is, I mean, she does go to the extreme, like, suck it up, we got to do what we got to do to make this household work. But to the other point, she says that it's that her, I totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying? What was it?
She said at one point she was saying, suck it up,
but then what she was also saying is that it's not lie, like I was sleeping with Betty over on the other side of town, and I'm gonna come here and tell you I wasn't sleeping with Betty. It's more about bring the demeanor home that we need in order to be able to have a happy home. And so she was speaking in extremes, but that general point I agree with, because even if it means we got to talk about it, what happened at home, but I don't want all of your anger. I don't want all of your mood swings and all of that. I want you to be willing to say, I want my wife to be happy like I want my boss to be happy. So I got to do at home what I need to do to make sure that she's happy. But what she's saying is that doesn't happen.
So I actually totally understood exactly what she was saying, but that's kind of how we haven't been taught. And granted, that was in the 70s, but So I understood what she was saying. That's why I wanted to hear more. And going back to what Robert's saying, they don't make them like that.
No.
Huh. Well, do you want them to be made like that? Because you both said that you don't necessarily agree with.
No, I don't want to have to come home and pretend. If I got to pretend, I don't stay there no more.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
telling
that's part
you,
of the problem.
I don't stay there no more.
Yeah. Well, I think pretending is part of the problem. I think we do a whole lot of pretending in general.
Absolutely.
So I could see that.
It's hard enough in this world for an African American man, but I'll finish my point when we come back.
Okay. Sounds
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Stay with us.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a cold
I want to be
day.
a football
I want
stadium.
to be a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is gonna help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
Text us with your shout-outs and requests to 678-613-5857. Radio, knock them down.
Welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela.
And I'm Robert Pierce.
And we are joined by Marcus Joyner.
Yes.
And should I say the third? The third. I love it. And we are just talking about that communication gap between men and women. And I think that clip was such a great example.
It was. It was a good launching pad.
Yeah.
It really was.
And there were a few things you guys said over the break.
Yeah. Again, I struggle with that, fake it till you make it when I get home, because home should be the place where I can be me. And if I have to fake it, now it's going to take me longer to get home because I'm going to have to get this off of me.
Right.
And so now I make stops before I get home. Okay, you don't want me to be this way, so that means I got to stop at the bar, whatever it is.
Right.
To get home. And I remember years ago, old man told me this when I first got married. He told me you need to limit the number of stops you make between work and home if you want a successful marriage.
I love that.
I was the married guy who would drive around 285, just to stall to get home.
Wow.
And had to learn, you got to go home. And so now if I go home and I got to be fake, I don't want to go home.
Right.
I'm going to go somewhere where it could be real.
Yeah.
And that place could be very dangerous for me and for the life of my family. And so I don't like that statement.
Yeah.
Of telling me, suck it up.
That's so interesting. I mean, it makes total sense. It makes
Yeah.
total sense. I think one of the points that I brought out over the break was that when she went on to elaborate, she was saying that if I have to choose between you coming home in a rage and the kids being scared of you and me being scared of you,
Yeah.
and you faking it, I'll take faking it any day.
Yeah, that's something different.
It
When,
is.
Yeah, when there's fear and all that, that's something different.
Right.
So I agree 100%. Yeah.
So it's a coping, I mean.
Yeah.
And it's
But-
also another deeper angle. So if she's saying, you know, fake it with me, fast forward, when women say men don't communicate.
Right.
So it's been passed down.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
go home and complain to your wife.
Right.
Mhm.
Because what, in the 70s, she probably represented maybe our parents' generation
Right.
to some extent.
Yeah.
So then that get passed down, and so
Yeah.
when women say, I wish he just talked to me. Well,
Yeah.
1971, you said fake it.
Right.
Keep that to yourself.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah. And now, and as a woman, where am I supposed to go if I'm coming home to my woman?
Mm-hmm.
Where? Okay, you're telling me don't do that. So what am I supposed to do?
Right.
How would you like for me to? Please answer.
Well, I like this is not a hypothetical question.
Yeah,
No, I
well-
actually really love what you said during the first break when you said, I want to be able to come home and just lay my head on her lap
Yeah.
and say, this is what I went through today.
Right.
And I think that is what most women nowadays want. And I think what we struggle with is that a lot of times our men aren't transparent, and they won't do that. They put on the front. And maybe it's because of what you said, that conditioning
Yeah.
to be that,
Yeah.
that guy. So
Because you don't want to hear, suck it up, be a man.
No.
That takes you to a different place.
And that will cause him to come home and fake it every day.
Absolutely,
because he's like not safe to
Absolutely.
be who he is.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. See, I'm not disagreeing. You're good.
Okay.
So,
See?
with that said, we're gonna go into the research.
In the interest of science, 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 science.
All right, so the research is brought to you by PZ Heads. PZ Heads is a natural hair salon that works with both men and women with all kinds of natural type hairstyles. So definitely check them out. It's pzheads.com, PEEZYHEADZ.com. So this is a very interesting article about, and they're from my favorite researchers, the Gottmans.
Okay.
They do a lot of work on relationships, and actually it comes from their page, but the article is written by Steve Horseman, and it's basically how to avoid the pursuer-distancer pattern in your relationship. Does that sound like it familiar?
You got to teach me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me.
Okay. Pursuer. Say it again.
Pursuer-distancer.
Distancer. Okay.
Yes. So here's an example. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Jane says, "Why do you do that?" John says, "Do what?" Jane says, "You ignore me." John says, "No, I don't." Jane says, "We need to talk about this. You're doing it now." John says, "I don't see the problem. You're overreacting." Jane says, "No, I'm not." John says, "I don't want to talk about this anymore." So that's kind of so the example here is Jane is pursuing and John is distancing.
Okay.
Pursuer distancer.
Okay.
You have a question? Your eyes, your face is
Who
like...
wrote that article? Did a woman write that?
No, a man did.
Oh, okay.
It's actually the perfect stereotypical, from a man's perspective, kind of
Okay.
attitude. But
So she's saying, "Why do you do that?" And he's saying, "Do what?"
do what? He's not interested in engaging in this conversation, and she is overly interested in engaging in this conversation, and so that combination is problematic because it doesn't work when you've got one person
This
who's
is true.
That's
pursuing
true.
another person who's distancing.
Yeah.
In a study of 1,400 divorced individuals over 30 years, Dr. Heatherton found that couples who were stuck in this mode were at the highest risk of divorce. Dr. John Gottman also noted that the destructive pattern is an extremely common cause of divorce. He claims that if left unresolved, the pursuer-distancer pattern will continue into a second marriage and into subsequent intimate relationships.
Okay.
And I guess it's...
Yeah, I see. That is definitely a problem because you're not communicating, and it sounds like he shut down.
Yes.
Yeah.
in that scenario.
And it talks about how
Yeah.
the pursuer can contribute to the person
Yeah.
shutting down,
Shutting
you know,
down.
because they're like, this is too much, you know. So a partner with pursuing behavior tends to respond to relationship stress by moving toward the other. They seek communication, discussion, togetherness, and they're anxious about the distance that their partner's created, right? So their behavior is they criticize their partner for being emotionally unavailable, when in fact they might not actually be emotionally unavailable. This is just their coping mechanism. They believe that they have superior values. Like, I'm communicating. I'm trying to do what I need to do to make this work, and you're shutting
And you're
down.
not. And
So
so-
that perception alone
Yeah.
can impact communication.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. And then if they fail to connect, they will collapse into a cold, detached state. And they'll be labeled as needy, demanding, and nagging. So that's the pursuer. And then once they're done, they detach.
I want to ask the question, and this isn't loaded. This is an honest question. Is there any research says what percentage or what's the larger scale? Females are pursuers or male are the pursuers?
It actually doesn't.
You follow me? Because I'm hearing, excuse me, I'm hearing female.
I
there.
know you are, and but you know it's funny because in some interactions I've had with men, I have been the pursuer. In other interactions, I've been the distancer. So I've definitely seen myself in both shoes.
Yeah, I could see, but I just was curious.
But it depends. Yeah, no, and they actually didn't even, as they go on to talk about it, they switched genders on, just I guess to make it clear that it could be either way. So a partner with distancing behavior tends to respond to relationship stress by moving away from the other. They want physical and emotional distance. They have difficulty with vulnerability. They respond to their anxiety by retreating into other activities to distract themselves. They see themselves as private and self-reliant. They are most approachable when they don't feel pressured. So they are approachable, but when they don't feel pressured, pushed, or pursued. And they are labeled as unavailable, withholding, and shut down. So it's interesting because if that's when they're most approachable and they're with a pursuer, that's a disaster waiting to happen.
Is.
It's a whole lot of things in that.
Go ahead.
So the man is the distancer, right?
Well, not necessarily.
I'm just saying.
In that example,
in general.
yeah.
So there could be a whole lot of reasons why he don't want to share. Is he fearful it can be used against him later on?
Right.
Is he fearful it's going to be judged? So that might be and he may be trying to figure it out. Like, I don't want to share it because I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, still processing.
But then when you have someone, tell me what's going on, okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out. So, and then at the end of the day, you're not going to make him tell you.
No.
So.
Right.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. So how long do you allow this to go on before, it's like, you know what, this is just not working? A year goes by and there's still really no give. How long is it reasonable for a woman to say, and I hate to genderize it because it could go either way, but let's just use a woman for example. At what point does a woman say, okay, I need to just...
I think it goes back to the communication in a time what I call calm waters, when you don't have those problems and you look, when I get in this mode, I need a couple of days, or you kind of compromise on when you do have to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point. Well, they have some answers here, so we're gonna look at that too when we get back. So stay with us.
We'll be back.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextsStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
It's time to kick that old robotic, futuristic, George Jetson crazy feel-good music. We do it for the nation, playing an awesome mix of urban hits. We're the nation's urban station. Online, ssnatl.com.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is big business. This is the American way.
Station Network.
See ya.
Keeping your balance with Dr. Pamela. Dr. Pamela. Dr. Pamela.
All right, so this week's balance challenge. Every week we do a balance challenge to kind of get you to find ways to elevate your life, do something better, do something different. So this week, it's active listening. So it's that whole idea, and it actually happens to be one of the coaching competencies, active listening. So when we actively listen, it means that we're not necessarily listening just to respond. You know, we hear this all the time. It's not just, okay, when they're done talking, I'm going to say what I've been trying to say. I'm going to say that burning statement that I've been wanting to say. Active listening means actually listening to the words that are coming out of their mouth and responding to those words, asking questions based on those words, continuing the conversation in that direction rather than on your own agenda and what it is you just have to get out. Because if you just say what you have to say and really didn't really take in what they had to say, then it's almost like it didn't matter what they said to you.
I agree.
So
you gotta listen.
Gotta listen. So this week, my challenge for all of you is, particularly when you're engaging with the opposite sex, I want you to actively listen to them. Watch their lips. Look at what comes out of their mouth and formulate anything that you have to say in response to that. And I encourage you not to have a rebuttal, but to affirm, what it is they had to say. And that's not always easy for us to do, but to affirm it. Like, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Thank you for sharing that. That makes sense.
That's good. I agree. That's key. Because, how many times we talk, but we're just loading our guns up with our ammo. We're gonna fire back and not hear one word.
Right.
Yeah, that's something I had to learn.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn to listen.
Yeah.
Because you, like you say, the chamber is already
locked and loaded.
You're just waiting for that person to finish, and then you go in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
I've had to learn to change that.
Yeah.
Yes, I have too.
Yeah, me too. You get further along in life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and in a relationship,
so
get
that's
to go
my
to
challenge
sleep.
to you. I actually had to do that last week. I'll tell you guys a little more about it after the break.
boy.
But yeah, I had to do that last week. Like, listen.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay.
Talking too much?
What? No, I
No?
I know everything. I'm a doctor. I know
Yeah,
everything.
you know everything.
So, I got a little humble.
Okay.
So, yes. So stay with us if you want to hear what my little
challenge.
story is.
Yeah.
Yes, accept that challenge, and we'll be right back. Already coaching? Everybody's a coach these days. I get it. Life coach, relationship coach, financial coach. But you want to be a coach with integrity. So get certified and do it the right way. Or add coaching to the work that you already do. Join a cohort or take classes at your own pace. We have knowledgeable instructors. We have a life-changing curriculum. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com to learn more.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through, like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela.
And I'm Robert Pierce.
And today we are talking about filling that communication gap in relationships. And we've got Marcus Joyner III here joining us to help us with this really important conversation.
Yeah, and we have some great comments on Facebook Live. Can I read one real quick?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to read one. Let me see, my eyes. This is from E.M. Daynum. Did I say it right? Damien. Okay, this is from Damien.
You just blew your cover.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I blow up your spot? But he says, Damien says, for the most part, conversation should be had while the issue is fresh. Never allow any type of anger, frustration, or disdain to fester. In a perfect world, that would come with maturity.
So I have a problem with that. But let me hear what y'all have to say first, because I'm jumping in.
So full disclosure, that is my best friend. And
okay. Hey, best friend.
He's been telling me that for years.
Sorry I messed up your name, Damien.
he's been telling me that for years. Don't let anything fester. Get it out. Have that argument. Move on. Don't go to bed angry.
Okay. That's a good philosophy.
Yeah. That has never worked for me. But I have gotten a lot better. I have gotten a lot better because I do see the importance of, discussion and getting it over. So I've kind of worked on not doing it as quick as he suggests, but a lot sooner than what I used to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, so it's a goal, though, to get to that point.
Right.
The only challenge I have with that is, I think it said engage in the discussion while it's still fresh.
Yeah.
Sometimes too fresh is too soon. I think sometimes people need time to process. And I know that I've been in situations where I've been asked, can we just, talk about this a little later or talk about it in the morning, which means going to bed with it. And I respect that because I think it's worse when you push somebody and say, no, we need to talk about it now. You can't go to bed until it's fixed. And I don't know. So I think there's a kind of a balance there that has to be considered.
Yeah, I agree. There has to be a balance. You can't push nobody into it. And as Damon said, it comes with maturity.
It does come with maturity.
Where you can sit down and say, and put a time period. Okay, when are we going to talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it, just don't let it be out in the air. We'll get to it when we get to it. No, let's figure out when we're going to sit and talk about it and deal with it. But I agree. I don't think it should fester. I was a festerer, if that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it from my upbringing because I grew up in a very hostile home at times.
Okay.
And so if I thought it was going to be an argument, I just fall back because I don't want to relive what I lived.
Right.
And so, but I had to learn to say, okay, not now, but give me to this time.
Right.
You know, and even my wife had to learn on her side. Again, don't hit me with it when I come in the door. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
Just whatever it is, let me sit down.
time.
And now, okay, what is it? Let's go.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a difference between allowing something to fester and allowing
Yeah.
people time to process and get themselves together, you know, because
Yeah.
like you said, I think you said it earlier, Marcus, is that people have to, sometimes you got to process, what is this? I don't even know what this is
Right.
for myself, let alone you're trying to make me talk about it right now.
Yeah, I have this thing where I play back conversations in my head. So that time is processing me is kind of replaying the dialogue and listening, as
Listening.
you said. You know, you may not be able to listen then when it's going on, but I kind of go back and replay, be like, okay, she had a point.
She usually does. No, I'm just kidding.
Shot fired.
She let me know
boy.
she
The
cared.
general she usually does.
No.
I mean, y'all have to acknowledge we have points sometimes. You know?
do.
You do,
I will
valid.
give you that. I will
Just
give you
if you can learn how to harness them and deliver them in a little more palatable way at times, you can get further.
I
Yes.
like that.
Well, you know what? This actually reminds me of the eye-opening epiphany that I had last week in conversation within my own relationship, and it was just the statement was made. You know, because I always swear that I remember things exactly as it happened. You know, like no,
Okay.
this is what I said, this is what you said, or this
Right.
is how this happened, and and I'm pretty right. And he says he usually falls back, but he realized that I actually make mistakes at times that I don't remember things correctly. And I said, no, I have a really good memory. So the way that I remembered it, and he said something that just made me stop in my tracks. And he said, you're not the only one with a memory, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
And I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
So what that told me is that I'm invalidating the perspective and the memories of the other people,
Of other people.
around me,
Right.
because mine
Is
superior.
better. Yeah, you're
It's
superior.
And so,
And so we're all just mere peasants.
and I'm
Right.
just, here to help you all
Yeah,
remember
help
things
us
correctly.
navigate through life.
But it was done in such a way that it made me like, wow, no, I never thought about it that way. I really never truly, I honestly did not, it never occurred to me that you all have memories too.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, it really didn't. And
Really?
I don't even know how to take that.
and
now.
as ridiculous as
Wow.
it sounds, it's true. Like
Yeah.
it never occurred to me.
That anyone? Okay.
Yeah, because I really believe that what I believe and the way that it happened in my mind is the way that it happened, period. And I just need y'all to just
And just fall in line.
accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was humbling because I realized
Yeah.
how ridiculous that sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have an excellent memory. I mean, Father Time is eating away at it, but my memory is pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
go ahead. What were you
No,
saying?
I know we're kind of shocked, right? So how does that change going forward?
Oh,
Do
it
you-
was huge for me because it made me realize that I have to take myself out of my own head and realize that the other person has a point of view that is just as valid as mine. And that's huge. I mean,
that's
'cause
very good.
I really didn't.
Very, very good.
Yeah,
it
that's.
has never crossed my mind.
I'm so proud
So
of you right
think
now.
about the number of times people fell back.
Wow. Are you opening the file? Are you opening the file?
People fell back was like, okay, you're right.
I do it to my mom
And
all
she
the
could've been
time.
wrong.
I love you,
And
mom.
dead wrong.
Love you, mom.
Yeah,
but,
that could
no,
be dead wrong. And it's
well,
like, okay.
I don't know that I've ever been dead wrong,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that
okay.
I
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You would never be
Right,
dead wrong.
exactly, you're right.
Yeah.
there, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of falling back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I it was
That's good.
extremely humbling for me, and I realized,
Awesome. Good
wow.
for
And it
growth.
wasn't in the midst of a fight. It was just it was actually we're laughing because he thought it was hilarious that I hadn't thought about that before.
Yeah.
And you was open to it because y'all on calm waters.
We were on calm waters. Now, if
If
this
you
was
were
the
in
middle
the
of
heat of argument, you probably,
Right.
Yeah, that would have been something.
I wonder how that would have come off.
See? But now you know.
You know, you're not the only one with the memory.
Right.
Awesome.
So, ladies and
Very
gentlemen,
proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Good job.
Thank you. That was huge for me. But ladies and gentlemen, because men, you do this too. You're not the only ones with a memory. You're not the only
No,
ones.
we're not. No.
So that's an
I
important.
normally say one of us is wrong and one of us is right.
We can't both be right.
Nah.
I don't like being wrong.
One of us is right.
So yeah, I mean, I just thought that was huge, and I was like, I got to share this because that was an epiphany for me. So
we have another comment from Damon.
Okay.
Yeah, this is awesome today. Damon says, I can understand giving it a little time, but the issue must be verbalized in a timely fashion. You cannot stay quiet and save the issue as ammunition for a future argument.
Absolutely. That I
Agreed.
agree with, yeah.
Yes.
I agree. And I
No
think there
doubt.
should be a time frame. I think
Yeah.
a couple of you have said that already.
Yeah, a
There
little
should be,
time frame. Yeah.
you
Let
know.
me gather my thoughts, see what I'm thinking, how I'm
Mhm.
feeling. I don't know how I'm feeling right now.
So from a man's perspective, if the guy is continuing to allow that to just kind of ride, and they say we're going to talk about it tomorrow comes, it doesn't happen. The end of the week comes, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
A few months come. So what is a woman to do in a situation like that? That's very common.
I don't know. No, I'm
kind of.
I mean, what would you be most receptive
I don't
to?
know. I don't know what she should do. But I can tell you what's going to happen to him. He's going to lose his woman soon.
Yeah.
That's what. But I don't know what to tell
Well,
the
you know
woman.
what?
But I know.
You're absolutely right. I mean, that's actually exactly what the research says
Yeah.
here about the pursuer-distancer relationship.
Mhm.
It says that what they do, it's important that the distancer, where does it say? The distancers be aware. Many partners, exhausted by years of pursuing and feeling unheard, leave a relationship or marriage suddenly.
Yeah.
Like they're out. You wake up, the closets are empty, everything's gone.
Because
It's
somebody
done.
else is hearing.
Yeah. Well, and even if they're not, I mean, oh yeah, it could be
No,
anybody.
so-
It-
yeah, anybody. Somebody else is hearing it.
Right.
So
And
I'm not putting it on.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then they find out, well, I don't have to put up with this.
I'm gonna put it with
Somebody
that.
else can hear
Yeah,
it.
someone else can hear.
Yeah. So
You're gonna lose your woman.
distancers beware, but there's more for pursuers as well. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that when we come back.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Viola Davis. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger? Growing up, I was one of those kids. But we can solve this. When we make breakfast happen for kids in our neighborhood, we have the power to end childhood hunger, create bigger, brighter school days, and healthier minds and bodies. Go to hungeris.org and lend your time or your voice.
We're hungry for more.
A message from the Albertsons Companies Foundation and the Entertainment Industry Foundation.
Don't just sing the song, do it. And we're here to help with Smart Talk. From programs like this, your nation's urban station, online, on SSNATL.com.
Saying he's fake news and he isn't going to call for
anything that is being searched on for Facebook right now that's very popular.
What do you make of identity politics?
I love you.
Love story in 1 hour.
This is the
This is an
America.
All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela, and we are in hour number 2.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
First hour went by quick.
Yes, it did. And Robert Pierce, I don't know if I gave him a chance to
No,
say
I don't have a
I think
memory
that might
or
be
a
my
voice.
voice.
Yeah, no memory, no voice.
He has all of the above.
Whatever you like.
This is hilarious. We are talking about communication gaps between men and women,
And
we're
the lack
joined,
of it.
And we are joined by
Yes.
Marcus Joyner III, and we are talking. A great conversation. We've got
We
some
are.
comments
Yes,
that have
we are.
been. Can I just? I'll go with this one right here with Keisha.
Okay.
Keisha Nureddin is saying that basically she's, and I think this is huge. Like we all should learn this. But she said that she's learned to acquire emotional intelligence, and this in acquiring emotional intelligence, she's learned it's best to just take a step back and process before having the conversation. And I think that kind of echoes what the gentleman Damien was saying
Yes.
as well.
Right.
And just yes, don't let the conversation die, but also take some time to process it. As
Yeah,
well.
I got a wonderful comment here by Ty, and they say allowing that much to address an issue can be disastrous. The person can then have that conversation with themselves and eventually decide the outcome. At that point, it's useless. The woman in this case has already decided.
Wow.
Huh.
So it's
Yeah.
useless to have the conversation.
Well,
because-
to say to let it fester because now the person has already made the outcome in their mind, and so when it's time to discuss, they already made up your mind for you.
Interesting.
And told you your position. That's how I'm reading. Did I get that right, Ty?
Wow, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not healthy either.
Right.
No.
Yeah, because you
know,
done put
it's
2
not a
and
good
2
strategy.
together, got 24,
Right.
and now you're coming at me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that. But I still need some time to process.
Yeah.
Just because you're in a rush to want to talk about it, let me. I'm a slow thinker.
Right. Well.
Also,
I could be a slow thinker.
Also, that's
But
the
I think
quickest
it's
way to
important.
resentment.
Yeah.
That's a quick way to resentment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the one thing that's gonna really break down the communication even more, because once that resentment sets in, that communication is not happening in a way that's gonna be productive or healthy or.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring it back around.
Okay.
Nikki said, "Fake it."
She did.
Yeah. Now
She said, "Don't tell me those things."
Yeah, you see the problem? It's not
I
healthy.
do. I mean, the way that you all are breaking it down. See, I'm not the only one with a perspective.
Yeah.
But the way that you're both breaking it down, it makes sense. When I first heard Nikki say it, I'm like, yeah, I don't want all the dirty. I just, come home with love and in love and happy. But no, I mean.
No, you want me.
Right.
And I'm not love and happy all the time.
Yeah.
I just went to war out there in this world.
Then let's talk about that. I mean, that's such another factor that plays such a huge role in what happens in our relationships, especially when we're talking about black men and women.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about, you just went to war out there, that's no game. And black women experience it.
Same thing. We both went to war, and now we come home, and now I got to fake it here?
Yeah.
No.
That doesn't even sound right.
No. And pretend like, no, it was lovely, and we're going to, tiptoe through the tulips. No, it was rough out there.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, and we have talked about how the 70s was a bit of a different time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the context that Nikki Giovanni was talking, mom's at home. She's at home. And dad's coming home.
Right.
And what is he coming home, or what is she receiving when he comes home?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But times have changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
Now, she did say, "You give me your worst."
Yeah.
So that.
I think that's an important point.
Yeah, she did say that. In fairness to that, and so that should not happen. You should not give. You should not come home and give your spouse, your significant other, the worst part of you.
So how do you prevent that when you are exhausted? The weight of the world is on your shoulders, and you get home. How can you possibly give somebody your best?
I guess you got to communicate. It's been a rough day. Give me a minute. Give me an hour. Or it's not you.
Right.
So.
And I think best is relative, because that is the best that you have in that moment.
Yeah, that's all I have right now.
Yeah.
And I communicated by laying my head in your lap.
I love that. I love it. It's vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's transparency. Those are the things that make relationships work.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, stay with us. This
We'll
is
be
good.
back.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a cold
I want to be
day.
a football
I want to be a
stadium.
bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win a Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He'd guide us to that ultimate victory. I'm Tony Dungy, and I am second.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's, it's time to savor.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Energizing a nation, one listener at a time. It's SSNATL.com. Radio that's not dumbed down.
All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela.
And I'm Robert Pierce.
And we are joined by Marcus Joyner
Yes,
III.
great conversation.
Yeah, really good conversation. These guys are kind of schooling me a little bit.
We're schooling her, y'all.
I've been
Brothers.
like...
Keep it coming. Yeah, we try to help out.
I've been getting schooled all week. We haven't...
Yes, we have another comment. We have a comment from Kiba Raleigh. And she says, and I love this, you have to know when you are the one with some toxic traits or falling short in communication skills. That's the reason I will sometimes delay a conversation until I have the emotional control, let me do that, to make sure the conversation fosters peace and is not destructive.
Wow.
I love it.
I love that
Yeah.
too.
And I love this. You got to self-evaluation. You may be the one with the toxic traits.
Right.
And you have to know that. And so you have to adjust.
I feel like he's talking to me. Why is he looking so hard at me? Gosh.
No, I wasn't loaded, but maybe. Grandma used to say, hit dogs, holler.
Wow.
See, look at this.
Wow.
That's what Grandma said. I didn't say that.
Right.
That's what Grandma said.
No, that was good stuff.
But yeah, that's a great. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to know. You got to know you. To thy own self be true. And if we know when we have some toxic traits and we have to fall back.
Right.
We can't keep pushing or pulling away.
Mm-hmm.
If your toxic trait is pulling away all the time.
Right.
you can't keep a relationship that way.
Sometimes people just relish in it, though. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah,
you
this is
know?
me, and I'm not changing
I'm a
this.
Scorpio.
Yeah,
Right.
this is me with all that. Yeah,
That's people do that.
yeah, they do.
Right.
I can't, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, man, you got you got some self-control. You've got
Yeah.
a mind. You've got it's now the thing is self-control is not an easy thing to do, and now I have to bring in my book. So,
Okay.
Letters to the Brokenhearted. One of the chapters I actually wrote was about self-control because you absolutely are going to need it when you are either being single and trying to get yourself back right, or if you're in a relationship and you're trying to make that thing work, you absolutely need self-control.
Yes.
And one of the things I suggested is practicing self-control in other ways, because what it does is it builds that character that can be transferable. You know, so if it means, you know, being diligent about going to the gym. In the book, I suggested, you know, trying to do something like a fast and sticking with it. I had not yet done it when I wrote the book, but I was like, you know, one day I'm going to try it. But just different activities that compel you to practice self-control, because when you get in a relationship and you're tempted to go off and lash out or say that last word, you'll be more able to just pull back, pause.
Yes, I agree. You have to thy own self be true.
Right.
And you have to control yourself. No one should be able to get that out of control that you can't control your emotions.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So, so the other piece that I wanted to bring up is we talked about the pursuer distancer piece, and that distancers have to beware that, you know, many partners exhausted by years of pursuing and feeling unheard end up leaving a relationship or marriage suddenly. They've been pondering this for a while. And they actually may have said something, but the distancer probably didn't even notice that they said, look, I'm done. And they leave instantly. So when a distancer realizes that a partner may actually walk out, then they might flip into a position of intense pursuit. But at that time, it's already too late.
Too late, yeah.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. You lose your woman real quick.
Or your man.
Yeah, or your man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, doing that distance thing and not sharing and talking, and you know, that's not going to work.
I wonder if we can generalize, because we try to do that every now and then, but if when women do it, it's because they're genuinely not interested and they're just, you know, kind of hoping he'll leave.
I think they're tired of talking. This is me. I could be wrong. That women, you know, often, you know, and I'm generalizing again, often they are the communicators. So I always said, if my wife shuts up, I'm scared. Because that means, you know, because I know her. She likes, you know, she wants to talk and get it out. So if she gets quiet and becomes distant, that means she's kind of fed up.
And I would say that from a former pursuer, I would pursue until I got to that point. But for me, it was like done, gone, you know, shortly after that. So it is worthy of being afraid if the, you know, if the person that generally wants to talk, all of a sudden they're like, yep, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think sometimes people don't know their mate, so they don't know when they've stopped.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention.
Right.
And then, you know, when something is done, you didn't see it coming. It's because you wasn't paying attention.
Wasn't paying attention.
You're so wrapped up in whatever you wrapped up into, you didn't see it was going on.
Right. Ooh, that's big. That's big. Well, what this is, you know, it's interesting. So do you think that there is one that is, I guess, less problematic than the other, the pursuer or the distancer?
No, they're all, to me, problem. Yeah, I can't be the pursuer. I'm not the barker like that.
You know what? I'm the second guess. So the distant person, the distant person can make the pursuer think it's them. And they don't, you know, that may cause them to pursue more because they think it's them.
Exactly.
And if the distant person is not communicating, it's really not you. It's, you know, something else I'm dealing with, you know, so that can make it worse.
And to add to that, the pursuer may not believe it if the distancer does say it's not you. They might say, no, there's something. You got to keep, you know, and not respect.
Right. The famous is not me. It's not you. It's
right.
me.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Stay with us. We love your comments.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Keep them coming.
Yes.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Honey, what you cook for dinner tonight?
Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
The bad news first.
I cooked nothing.
Well, that's the good news then.
Uh-huh. Well, there's no bad news then, because tonight we're gonna have Jerk Palace.
Call Jerk Palace for authentic Caribbean cuisine, including vegetarian entrees with authentic Caribbean flavor. Call 770-892-5049. Located at 6221 Jonesboro Road, Highway 54 in Morrow, Georgia. Jerk Palace.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
In the interest of science, 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 science.
All right, so the science this week is brought to you by the Academy of Creative Coaching. Woo woo! The Academy of Creative Coaching is a coach certification training school and is actually currently owned by it's the only fully credentialed, accredited school owned by a Black woman in the world.
Congratulations.
Yes. So,
yeah, Black excellence.
What'd you say?
I will remember that.
Yeah.
Black Girls Rock. Yeah.
All right.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember whose it is, too.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes. So, it's interesting because, and I have to say that our class just graduated. We have a new batch of certified coaches that graduated an hour ago from Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, all right.
All right. Okay. Yes, next week is Atlanta. It's not too late if you want to get in on Atlanta. Come on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
I'm serious.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure we get you all set up.
Okay, I'm coming. I want to be a coach.
Yes. All right now. Okay, so this is about the dating market. Now, it's funny because this headline says the dating market is getting worse. And the old but newly popular notion that one's love life can be analyzed like an economy is flawed, and it's ruining romance. So I don't know if you all have heard people who are talking about online dating, but they'll say things like, it's a numbers game. The more you date, the more
playing the law of averages.
Right.
Yeah.
The greater your odds. We got to look at the market, and so it's almost just like shopping on Amazon. Like, okay, let me look for what I want, make sure it's got all the features that I want, and well, I see this TV, and yeah, it's 60-inch, but this 72-inch is great, and and so you got all these comparisons, and then you make your decision.
Yeah.
You hit purchase, and bam, and that's what they're saying. The dating world has become.
I checked out.
Have you heard? I mean, I know that you wouldn't know this firsthand, but I have had, because I don't date online, and
Yeah. Now, from a back view, I feel sorry for single people, and just the dating scene and how it's structured. It's really tough to really sift through and find someone.
Yeah.
That's authentic. One.
Mm-hmm.
You got to sift through all the catfish people and all the other stuff, the fake profiles, to even get to the real person.
Right.
Then when you get to a real human being, now are they being real or are they being fake?
Right.
And then it's a lot.
And then you're hedging your bet.
Yeah.
You're not going all in. So after you get through all that, what you're saying,
Right.
then you're not going all the way in because
you're not.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's
just
a
to
good
get to know that. That's just to get to meet and greet.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's not even nothing there.
If we're compatible or not.
Right.
That is interesting.
And then, can I be honest? I think some people, they have a little more confidence than they need. They shoot too high.
That's in this article too.
They overshoot.
They
Let's
say
be
it's
real.
women that's doing this.
Yeah. Okay. Read the article, please.
Oh, okay.
So let me not say it since there's an article on it.
Because I had a PSA, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, no. So, So they do say that men dramatically outnumber women on dating apps. And I mean, we maybe already knew that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's hunt and field. Yeah.
Okay.
So I get it.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Where is it? I can't find it exactly, but I'll just tell you what I remember it saying. Basically, it says that women have unrealistic expectations of what they're looking for in, when they're dating, and so they just kind of. So it creates this. So when they actually find somebody, they're deflated because they're like, he's a 70-inch TV, but he's not really exactly what I was looking for, because the chemistry element you can't necessarily account for on a website.
Right. Yeah. It's tough. Unrealistic expectations.
It's saying that nobody knows what they want. No one knows what they want. As much as they believe they know what they want.
Yeah.
And actual romantic chemistry is volatile and hard to predict. It can crackle between two people with nothing in common and fail to materialize with what's on paper or what's on the screen. And so there's a difference between reality.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen so many single women, I counsel a lot of them, and they, one showed me their profile.
What'd you think?
Oh,
Did
boy.
she do it right?
No, it was so unrealistic. And so I'm like, you're not this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So was that off?
Yeah, it was like,
that's
you're
scary.
not this, and you want someone, and it was horrible.
Scary.
Yeah, it was. That was a very wake-up call of self-evaluation, and like, you know what? You think more highly of yourself than you should, because that's not you. And you trying to put that on a man who's never going to meet that.
Wow. That's...
And to me, that's just, we've added a step.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to have to spend time with someone and get to know them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole app thing is just getting to that. You've added a step.
Mm-hmm.
And you made that step difficult because now you have all these women that you probably would have never met on your
Yes.
daily travels.
Right.
And now you have access to them. So you've added a big step.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just to get there and
Right.
all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's just to get to that
the
point.
guys in the cigar bars, guys, sports bars, filters. It's not a good thing.
Filters, yeah.
What, guys use them? Or are you saying to
women.
the guys?
Women
when
who
they see
use
them?
filters are the worst.
Yeah.
Filters.
Like they need to be put in jail or something.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Okay, wow.
False advertising.
Yeah. Now I've seen some guys do that, and they overdo. I'm like, when guys do it, they don't even know how to do it. They like over the. It's too much.
Wow.
But no, people should. You're right. We're not real enough.
Wow, that's a
and this is
that's
not
a whole
it.
nother subject.
Woo! But no, that's not it. We've got more.
Yeah.
So stay with us. We got so much more to say about this. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything. I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor. If making my detox public is gonna help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I was sensitive to lights and sounds, so I built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I do the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
If you're looking for that ratchet, you're in the wrong place. It's the nation's urban internet station, Sensation Station Network.
All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela.
And I'm Robert Pierce.
And we are joined by Marcus Joyner III. Are you enjoying yourself today?
Oh, I am.
Good.
Yeah, this is fun. I think you're a great guest.
Yes. It's interesting. I still have to dive into this article because there's so many interesting points here. And they're saying that also what's happening is that we are turning human beings into commodities with the way that the whole dating online thing goes, because like I said, it's like, what are the features, and and okay, yeah, I think I want to buy that, even though it's not literally making a purchase. It's still kind of making us go that way. So daters have or appear to have a lot more choices on dating online. I don't know why I'm pointing on myself when I said that. I don't know, but for some reason in 2020 than they would have had at like a dance party, so apparently it seems to be, that you have more choices. What they're saying is the human brain is not equipped to process and respond individually to thousands of profiles, and that it only takes a few hours on a dating app to develop a mental kind of sorting of categories. So you start categories, and okay, they look like this, that must be who they are, and oh, they got this kind of job.
I could imagine. Wow.
Put them over there.
Yeah.
You're athletic, put them over there. And I see your face.
I start stereotyping.
Marcus, what is that? And I could see myself doing that. Oh, he works out a lot. That's great. But is he all about himself? Is he all feeling himself?
Mm-mm. There's rules to it. there are rules to it. Yeah, it's
all right, so you're not gonna tell the people. You're not gonna let the people know.
No, because I'm not on those no more.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
That doesn't mean you haven't been and you haven't experienced.
Okay, yes. It is challenging.
Yeah.
It is challenging, and for someone who is not used to that, I can see how someone can be addictive. Because you all of a sudden you have, and like I said, and you sitting there on your couch and you have access to all these women.
All over the world.
All over. That most of them wouldn't speak to if they was in the same room.
Right.
Because of intimidation, whatever it may be.
But you can't skip a step.
Right. Yeah.
That's just getting to have a conversation and spend time. You still can't skip steps.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
Is it weird? Let me ask you a question. Singles, is it weird now for someone to just approach you, not on no site, just...
No, I love it.
Yeah, because now it's Me Too. It seems like it's weird.
Really?
Yeah, I'm asking. I don't know. It's like,
I mean, it shouldn't be
you
weird
know,
just
you
to say
come
hello to
and
somebody.
shoot your shot, and now,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, it depends on
if you don't like me, then I'm harassing you, right?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think if somebody
Okay.
is clearly not interested, then you back off. But
Yeah. Oh, of
you
course,
know,
but yeah.
I'm
I'm asking.
unfortunately, that doesn't happen. I mean, there's cases in which they don't back off, and cases in which women have been shot because they
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
interested and they were honest about that.
Yeah.
Some of the strategies we've learned is to just kind of be nice until we can get them out the
space. Wow.
Right, but so that part is definitely scary because
Yeah.
it's one of those things women walk around with very conscious of all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think being approached is awesome and amazing. I love that. I love the idea of being approached. And
Yeah,
it's-
I think that's the way to go. But you know,
Yeah.
I look now, it's like, wow, do women think that's weird? Because guys are.
No. I mean, I mean, it happens. It still happens. It
Yeah.
happens all the time.
And even I watch a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I even watch singles. They link up and then they separate and then they go to social media to check the person out.
What? wait, what do you mean? I don't understand.
Like I meet you
Uh-huh.
in person, and then now when we leave, I'm going to Facebook, social media, Snapchat to see you and say, oh, that's her.
To find you.
Oh, interesting.
You follow what I'm saying?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
they're
that
doing
would
that to
happen.
you. Yeah.
No, they don't because they don't get anything but
Yeah.
Jenny or
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say
Oh,
I'm
you
Pam.
get Jenny.
You know, but if I'm not interested,
Yeah.
no, they don't even get my name.
What about the real phone number? Because guys now will call you like right
Oh,
there.
yeah. So I do that, but I've learned that there's this amazing block feature that if you're not interested, and you know, you can ask the question, why would you give them a number? Well, again, it's that safety thing.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I
we
get it.
fear the reaction of rejection,
Wow.
but we can always create that block feature once, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we have walked away from each other. And
Awesome.
pray that we never see him again, you know. But it would be nice if we can just be forefront and say, you know, I actually am not interested, but I'm really, you know, you're cool, you know, and you know, we can
Right,
talk or
right.
whatever right here, but I'm not really interested in getting to know you on the long term. And I know that probably sounds like awful, but I have no problem with engaging somebody in conversation at the spot and then being okay with,
Yeah, that's
let's
good.
go our separate ways.
Right.
But I don't
Yeah.
know. That's almost unheard of nowadays. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it's so different now.
yeah. Well, and you know, so there's one other point here. There is a link between loneliness and compulsive use of dating apps. That's probably not surprising, right? But when they interviewed college students who spent more, you know, time than average swiping, they found that the lonelier you are, the more aggressively you will seek out a partner, and the more negative outcomes you're likely to have.
Yeah, I get it. You thirsty.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people thirsty on those apps.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so you just somebody like me.
Yeah. I mean, and
Wow.
yeah. And then the more alienated you will feel from regular people in your like real life.
Yeah.
Because you're in this
Right,
app.
because it becomes all about the likes.
All
Yeah.
about the likes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And swipes. Yeah.
Good Lord, I don't know.
And so now you start to do things. You can tend to start doing things outside your character to get those likes more and more, and get more attention. And you can really box yourself in
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
yourself in some trouble out here.
Is that dick pics? Is that what? Can I say
Ooh.
that? Sorry. Can I say that on the air?
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that either.
Flew out of my mouth before I realized. Is that okay?
I didn't-
But now that I've said it,
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna
real
know.
now. Yeah, now it's a party in here.
Okay, gloves off. Gloves off.
When we gonna come back?
Okay.
This is a good
Yes,
time for a
yes.
break. We'll be
Perfect
right back.
time.
Yes, perfect.
Whoa.
When we dialogue better, we do better. That's what I'm talking about. More great conversation from the live exchange on radio that's not dumbed down.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers. People who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I could really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers. And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community. Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh, my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh. Do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Honey, what you cook for dinner tonight?
Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
The bad news first.
I cooked nothing.
Well, that's the good news then.
Uh-huh. Well, there's no bad news then, because tonight we're gonna have Jerk Palace.
Call Jerk Palace for authentic Caribbean cuisine, including vegetarian entrees with authentic Caribbean flavor. Call 770-892-5049. Located at 6221 Jonesboro Road, Highway 54 in Morrow, Georgia. Jerk Palace.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Green light. Hey girl. School zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextsStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
SSNATL.com.
Keeping your balance with Dr. Pamela. Dr. Pamela. Dr. Pamela.
All right, so this week's Balance Challenge is a challenge to actively listen. So active listening, this is one of the reasons why I had the amazing epiphany I had, because, you know, I'm an active listener. And I want you all to kind of, you know, be like me and learn about yourselves by listening actively. So what that means is when somebody is talking to you, particularly somebody that you're, you know, involved with, that you're dating or that you're interested in, that you actually listen to what they're saying without formulating the response in advance. Make your response based on what the person said. In fact, I challenge you even further to affirm what they said, because it's not always about you agreeing. It's about many times hearing them and allowing them to be heard.
No, that's good. You said something that's so key. You don't have to always agree.
Yeah.
They didn't say it for you to agree.
Right.
They want to be heard. So hear them.
Right.
And acknowledge what they said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a challenge all in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Is to be okay with people disagreeing with you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
They didn't say it for you to agree.
Right. Ooh, that's good.
I actually have a thing I say, I hear you.
I like that.
I hear you.
No.
Yeah. That's so much better than relax. All right. So that's your challenge for the week.
That's a good challenge.
Yes.
I accept it.
So I accept as well. All right. We'll be right back.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's. It's time to say.
All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela.
I'm Robert Pierce.
And we are joined by Marcus Joyner III, and we are talking about the communication gap between men and women.
How men and women communicate.
And we kind of ended on an interesting note about, you know, certain kinds of picks.
Yeah, we're going to relax. We're going to relax.
I wonder if they were listening.
I just wanted to make sure y'all were listening.
Heated,
So, yeah. But I'm going to pivot just a little bit.
Okay.
It's interesting because this article also talks about women, and it's kind of reflective of what Robert was just saying. There was an article that was written called "Where Are the Good Men?" and the purpose of that article was actually written by men. It was sarcastic, and the purpose of that article was to expose all the women who have unreasonable standards and offer little to no value themselves.
Yeah.
But they're out there and they have all these high expectations.
Other than twerk pics.
Yeah, and I've been seeing those too.
Yeah.
Yes. So, so we've got this, and I guess we probably see this happen, both sides. The last time I logged into or created an online dating, profile, was probably about a year and a half ago, because I remember, and I went on one date. And I always do that. Like, I get on there for 2 weeks and I shut it down. I'm like, I can't do this.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. And then I'll send somebody a message and I'll forget. And 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot I sent the person a message. And the next thing I know, they've left because they're like, oh, she ghosted me. And it wasn't that I ghosted you. I just completely forgot. Because that's work. Those apps are work. Like, you've got to.
Yeah, I would imagine if you inboxing people all the time,
like constantly.
Yeah, so you're okay. You're saying the same thing, I'm sure, to every person. You got a line, right? I would think, I would hope, I would. I'm gonna make new stuff up for everybody. Come on. And so you got to remember that. Yeah,
I just don't. I couldn't. I tried. I promise you, I
don't
tried.
Want to be single.
Every time, but every time I tried it. But I'm saying this as an encouragement to the single folks, because every time I tried it, I could maybe do 2 weeks, and like I said, I always would forget I'm talking to somebody. They always thought I was ghosting them. I went on a date with one person. It wasn't even a date. I know nowadays you do these meetups real quick to just see. So pre-date. So we met up at Starbucks, which I am so, thank God, grateful that that's all we did. And I show up, he shows up, and he says that he has been on. I said, how long have you been online dating? He said, oh God, it's probably been about 20 years. I was like, whoa.
Serial
20 years.
Wow.
Online dating.
I didn't know it was out.
I was ready to go.
Wow.
So I was like,
well, he was on Black Planet back in the day or something, huh?
Yes,
wow.
And I was so curious, so I turned into a researcher, which is probably why he wasn't interested.
Right.
But I was like, at this point, I'm not interested in you either, but let me learn more about 20 years?
Wow.
And
it's science project now.
Oh, yeah, he was a science project. And but in all fairness, I never reached out to him. He never reached out to me after, so it was a mutual non-match.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting. He said, I just meet people and, we hang out for a while and then, move on to the next person. And it was just very interesting to me. So I thought, wow, okay.
I guess if it works.
If it works. So where's the encouragement for single people part? So.
I was looking for. I'm glad you said that.
Right. So I will say that I have spent very little time on these dating apps, but I have met some phenomenal people in person, in real life, traveling and going to events and, running a business and, I've had much more valuable, rich relationships just in person, old school. Like, y'all, old school still works.
It still works.
You can't skip that.
Right. You can't skip that
You cannot
step.
skip that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say online doesn't work. I know a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Married people.
Right. Absolutely. I think it's a great option, but I think people forget that it's not the only option.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That's deep right there. It's not the only option.
It's not.
Right.
And there's life outside of that computer, I promise, or the phone.
And the grocery store still works.
It does.
It really does.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I think that if, as a woman, I think we have to be more inviting and open and smile and give people eye contact.
Be a little friendly.
A little,
If you want to, someone, you have to make yourself friendly.
Right.
But yeah.
I think so.
But be careful. I get it.
Be very careful.
Yeah, but,
be very careful.
Smile. It's okay.
But I don't think the level of caution changes when you meet somebody online. It's caution. Period. There was this challenge that I wrote about in my book, the 10-date challenge. I don't know if I've shared this with either of you.
I know it well.
Yeah. And Paul Brunston, he's a relationship expert, and he challenged women, because this was a way to get women to stop being so closed, to approach 10 guys and ask them out on a date. And this was just kind of a way of breaking out of that.
Who pays?
Oh, that's a good question. I did it. And it was never, that was so funny because it was never a question.
Yes, 10 men out.
I asked 10 men out. And it was between, I remember I started at Thanksgiving, and it was right between then and New Year's was my goal. I finished before New Year's. And, you know, it's funny because that question of who pays actually never came up.
Who paid?
He did. But I would have. I mean, I would have shared it, but it was never an issue. I mean, he always just, you know, was interested in just taking care of it. But it was a fun date. It was, you know, and the approaches were just
You really
anything.
had to pay. You really boxed them in.
No.
Yeah, you really did. So you're gonna ask them out and pay? Come on, that's that's a male ego thing.
I was
you
gonna
don't,
say
you won't
because
get that.
what I appreciate was that was
Yeah.
never a thing. It was just we were two people going out having fun.
It's all good. That's
And
it's
so-
mature. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we were in. I was in Sam's Club and I was in line and somebody behind me was very attractive and I was like, "Why, hello," and it was just all. And you know what? That's
Number
the other
5,
thing.
yeah.
That's right. Oh yeah.
10, no.
That's the only. And what's funny though is that's all I had to do. I actually never even got to the point, maybe that's why the pay thing wasn't a question, but I never even got to the point of having to ask them out. I would just say hello, or I would smile, and they would just take it from there.
Yeah.
And so it was a huge lesson for me. I just thought it
Because
was eye-opening.
I'm sure that man was attracted to you, obviously, because he responded. But in his mind, he like, man, I should say something. I should say something. I should say something. No, I'm not going to say nothing. And then you say,
broke the ice.
You broke the ice.
Yeah.
And now.
And maybe that's what Paul Brinson knew would happen when
Yeah.
he posed the challenge.
But it takes guts. Let me be honest. For a man to walk up to a woman, cold turkey out the blue, and just start talking, it can be intimidating.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And don't have you with
women
none of
can
your
be so
friends.
cruel.
Yeah, it get raw. Y'all
Yeah.
get raw.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's
in
no
college,
need
it was
for all
always
that.
like that. It almost seemed like the music stopped, and that was the longest walk.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at you. Everybody's looking at
Right.
you, and then if you came back real quick,
Yeah.
you didn't get the number.
You didn't get that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I
It takes a
do
lot.
not
It-
believe in
yeah.
shooting people down. I mean, just humanity. Now if you're coming at me disrespectful,
Absolutely.
you're sending certain pics. I mean, that's different. But if you're respectful, I could
Yeah.
never. And I just, gosh, ladies, I hope we're not doing that to our men. But they're saying y'all are. So,
Happens more often than not.
So what does it look like
What does it look like?
to get shot down in a way that's not necessary? Like it was not necessary to do it that way.
I mean, friendly, or be like, well, I mean, yeah, it's friendly exchange,
So that's the ideal way.
So
But
you've
I'm trying
never
to say-
seen a guy walk up to, and want to talk to a woman, and then they bust out laughing at him?
No.
Oh, boy, where you been?
I don't hang around
Yeah,
those
it
kind of
hasn't
people.
happened to me.
I
thank
really
you,
don't
Lord.
hang around those kind of people.
Yeah,
I'm
but I've seen it.
super-
Yeah, they,
good.
Yeah,
Good.
but I've seen that, and yeah, they get real cruel.
Now, okay. I'm going to get your opinion about how this went.
Okay.
So I was out the other night, and two gentlemen came up to our table. One was down to earth, cool, like a really great person. Not the kind of people that not the kind of person I'd want to like after stay in touch with, but cool
Okay.
enough to hang out at our table.
Right. Okay.
The other one came to the table, and they were there at the same time. We were like, no, you're kind of annoying. And we didn't say this to him. But when he asked if he could sit with us, this is the line I always use. Oh, this is the girl table. No, just girl table, girl table, girl table. And he's like, oh, okay. And then other dude comes, because his level of confidence, he just sat right on down. And he was cool. And so we all just started talking to him. Other guy who was standing
But it
there was
wasn't
like,
the girl table then.
yeah. And the other
Right.
guy was standing there still, and I felt terrible for him. And I was like, should we tell him to sit down too? Because he said, thought y'all said it was a girl
Right,
table.
yeah.
Oh.
You
Yeah,
know?
you done got
so
him
when
out
when we told him he couldn't sit down, he wouldn't go away. He stood there. He still hovered over our table. And we were like, is he
Yeah.
going to leave? Like,
Yeah,
we were
that-
try to be nice to say girl table.
Well, he got to keep some dignity. If he just leave, that's tough. Yeah,
I wouldn't have stood there.
No, I would have rolled out. Yeah, I would have rolled out. Yeah,
So were we wrong? I mean, or when the guy just swooped in
No.
and sat down, she'd been like, "No, you got to get up because we just told him girl table, so we got to be fair."
No.
It was the most awkward situation. I felt terrible for the guy. He
Yeah.
finally kind of snuck his way out of the scene. Oh, poor guy.
And that guy's
But-
that guy got in the car and pulled his app up.
Right.
So he's okay then.
Yeah. back hunting again. Yeah.
I do feel bad for the guy, but
Oh, boy.
you know, I could have.
That's
I
right.
mean, we could have let him sit down, I guess, but we just didn't. We were enjoying our girl time.
Yeah. Well,
The
you
little
know.
smooth operator just slid on in, and we were like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're sitting here with us.
He left you no choice. Confidence, right?
It was that. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yep.
I don't know. So
Yep. I get it. Can't say what I want to say, but
I'm trying. I know I'm feeling a gap there.
Yeah,
and,
you know.
Okay. So one more thing, and I know
you'll
we're almost
never
done
hear
here.
that. You got to be in the barbershop for that.
There was one more. Oh, the other thing that changes the dynamic on social media or on those apps is that what people experience. So this is speaking of which, people experience being dumped over and over and over again. And what this changes is their attitude towards the opposite sex, or their attitude towards just the dating scene in general, which from this standpoint of this article that treats people like a commodity makes their value go down. They're not as great as a commodity because they're getting chipped away at. They're being worn out, and they're no longer as great as they were when they maybe first got on and they were super optimistic about finding love. So I
You
see
get
that
dumped.
happening across the board.
Oh yeah, both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like again.
Well,
Right.
you are increasing the rejection level.
Yeah.
That's exactly
So
what it says.
you done added you contact 20 women, and then you getting 12 rejections.
Right, because the odds are going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're playing the
You're just
odds.
playing the
Yeah.
odds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to eat that.
Whew.
Yeah.
This
You
is
play
good
the
stuff.
odds. Yeah. Huh.
Wow. Well, you know what? We are like getting really close to the end, so I want to give you all the opportunity to, any final words of wisdom for
Wow,
communication.
we over.
I know.
Wow.
Isn't it right?
Yeah. I want to start some. Ladies, just relax.
I told him that's a trigger
that's
word.
a trigger word. No, seriously, communication is the key. Just let's all be mature enough to say what we're feeling in a comfortable space, and you'll see how far your relationship will go. Just be open to conversation.
Yeah, that's good.
And communication is not always the easy conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
It includes the difficult ones.
Absolutely.
Too.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the difficult ones need to be had.
Yeah.
Necessary. Absolutely. I have a friend who says that sometimes love, the feeling of love and all that stuff, communication is much more important. So if he has a relationship in which communication is solid, then we can get through the days we don't love each other or feel, some kind of way, as long as we got that communication intact.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
What I'm working on.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, this was an amazing
It was.
show.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for everybody on Facebook and who shared and everything.
Keep the conversation
it was
going.
wonderful.
We'll still comment. And I'm sure Marcus is going to jump on there and respond.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
y'all, no pressure. And he's going to come back for
Thank
another
you.
show.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
please
this
do.
is fun. This is fun.
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Live Exchange. We've got a lot of amazing shows coming up for you in March, so stick with us. Join us every Sunday from 6 to 8. And remember, when we dialogue better,
We do better.
all right, have an awesome week.
See you next week.